This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'll tell you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com. This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'll tell you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing.
and follow us there. Matter of fact, I'll put these different social medias on the screen for you right now, as I do each and every morning. So there it is. First of all, you can follow us, and that's the headline screen, but you can follow us on Twitter at TalkBackLive. That's one word, at TalkBackLive. Also Facebook, Facebook.com, TalkBackLive with Bob and Josh. Like our Facebook page, check us out there, as well as TalkBack Live Network's Facebook page and WTBL TalkBack Live Network on Facebook. Follow us on all those platforms, and you will not be disappointed.
Yes, indeed, I guarantee you. And, Leon says we're downtown. We'll be home in a little bit. Okay, good, Leon. It is cold out there, man. Y'all dress appropriately this morning. It is very, very cold. And tell you what, we're ready to get it all kicked off. Got some hot topics to discuss. And, Josh, let's get it on.
Let's get it on indeed.
And in the headlines today, we've got well, they're back in the news. Whoever thought? The NAACP. Yes. NABES. NAACP.
I never heard the word pronounced. NASP. Wow.
Whatever. I'm not against the NAACP. Oh, but they found something to get involved in.
And we want your honest opinions on this.
Yes. Folks, let's talk about it. Josh, the NAACP is back in the news. And they're talking.
And it's not just them either. No.
It's not just them, but there's other things.
And I know Bob's already leaning to what he thinks, so I want y'all to form your own opinion.
Teachers are in trouble as well.
Yeah.
Or is it of nothing? Well, the NAACP is against some teachers somewhere, and they're trying to be relevant. And you can get the story, but that's why I said somewhere. We're going to tell you where in just a minute. They're trying to make it relevant, but maybe it is. If it's for some reason, I'm glad they're doing something. But I haven't heard from the NAACP or heard nothing about them since last Christmas. Or has it been a little longer? I think it's been a little longer. Well, are they relevant? Are they not relevant? Well, the story, is it worth the NAACP coming out and doing what they did and talking about this whole thing? Josh, what's going on with the story?
All right. So,
I'll let the people decide for themselves.
Yes, and it's very interesting situation going on. It's in Missouri. So in Missouri, the NAACP, we've actually talked about stories with them in that state, ironically, before a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But
now we got a situation at a school in Missouri where there was a class assignment that is under controversy.
Yes.
So reportedly, and the London News down there, which we're about to show you, got a copy of the controversial school assignment. Stated that the students must name their price if they were slave owners, what they would charge for their slaves. Now, that was just one of many questions.
That was one of many questions.
But it was a question.
It was the question.
And the NAACP said this is ridiculous, and we are not having any of this, so we got to step in and do something. But I want y'all to give us your honest thoughts, right?
The school did give an apology.
They did.
But the NAACP, no.
But here's the
we'll
thing.
say what they said no to.
Yes, and do you think it was appropriate what the school did? And I don't want to just make an NAACP.
Right.
Even, they're involved. But do you think what the school did suffice?
Like John said,
yeah.
yes.
So, as I'm just starting a bunch of watch parties here to get the people involved as well. And we're going to go ahead. And Bob, remind the people the number real quick before I get started.
901-213-6020. Again, the number to call is 901-213-6020 if you'd like to talk with us or leave a message on Facebook or, where we can be found everywhere. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go. We are ready. So without any further ado. Let's get it.
Take a listen to this, folks.
To the Melville School District and demanding an apology. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Thanks for joining us. A fifth grade teacher gave students an assignment with a question about the slave trade that is now being called culturally insensitive. 5 on Your Side's Chris Davis is live at Blades Elementary to explain what school leaders are doing about it. Chris?
Well, Mike, a district spokesperson confirms to me that teacher has now been placed on administrative leave. In the meantime, the principal sent an email home with students for the parents explaining what happened. A local NAACP chapter said that's not good enough.
That is not enough.
There's disappointment, and then there's anger.
It should be a public apology.
For St. Louis County NAACP President John Bowman, it's more of the latter than the former.
I find that wrong on so many levels.
The Melville School District gave a copy of the assignment to 5 on Your Side. The homework focused on westward expansion, asking students to assign prices for things like bushels of grain and bags of apples. But the last question on the assignment says this: or farm workers. You begin to get involved in the slave trade and have slaves to work on your farm. Your product is to trade slaves. Students then had to assign their price, and then the assignment says this could be worth a lot.
It's appalling. It's unacceptable.
This letter was sent home with students from Blades principal Jeremy Booker. In it, Dr. Booker acknowledges it was culturally insensitive and that the teacher expressed remorse. Dr. Booker promises an investigation and that he would work with the district leadership to provide all teachers national development on cultural bias in the near future. John Bowman is disappointed such training wasn't already part of Melville's training for teachers.
So why would you not have cultural bias training included in a district where you have a diverse population?
Parents on social media have also been more angry than disappointed. The hope? There's a lesson to be learned behind this controversial lesson plan.
There needs to be an aggressive action taken to make sure this never happens again.
Now, in addition to that public apology, Mr. Bowman is requesting a meeting with the superintendent of the district as well. In the meantime, we asked the Melville School District if we could talk to an administrator or a supervisor here at the school and at the district. So far, we haven't heard back, Mike.
Okay, now you heard the story. What do you think? Do you think 901-213-6020 on Facebook, do you think this is a bunch of here? This is a headline news story that started and confusion started about nothing. Do you think the NAACP is really trying to race up something here and start something and get people involved, their feelings involved and all this other, but because of a decision or something happened here at the school or whatever. But
let me just say this to that point, right? Yeah. And we can elaborate that a little bit more. But let's look at the school for a second.
Okay.
Now, what's happening here is, and y'all saw the story, whatever you want to say about it. But to me, off the bat, as far as what went on with the school and the assignment, I think it was rather stupid. I think it's rather stupid of the teacher to have that as an actual question on a test, because you got to know you would think that, this is going to cause some controversy, man. If you got all these black students you got up in there, most likely, and you're saying, okay, put yourself in the place of a slave trader, and how much would you charge for your slaves in this time period? Now, personally, I don't think there was any malice intended with the question. I'm sure it was something they talked about in class, and it was just incorporated into the question. But I don't think it's a smart question. I think it was a dumb question. Okay. And that's why the controversy was raised. Now, I guess the question would be, is it a big enough deal for all of this talk that's happening right now?
Is it that insensitive? Is it, you could talk about anything and you can be insensitive to, people and their thoughts and all of this. But is this something that the teacher should have never done? Or did the teacher mean well here? Or did the teacher mean harm here? Or what? I think here this is something that, to me now, I think this is something that, it was a mistake. I don't think it was intentionally done. I think it was something that the teacher just thought of to put in on the question thing here. But I think the NAACP jumped the gun here. I don't think, they said write a letter home. They said, no, that's not good enough. Okay, so what is good enough? What is? Okay, did the NAACP ever say what did they want? What was good enough? Did they ever say anything?
Well, they said, okay, they want a public apology.
Okay, a public apology. Yeah. All right. Okay, fine. If you want a public apology, but was it done publicly though? Huh? Or was it done in the classroom? The assignment was done in the classroom.
Yeah, they took it home. So it's a public school. So
so they done it. They took it home.
Technically, it's public.
Okay, so now here the teachers. Okay, he said wants a public apology. I just think it's something the NAACP reached in the trash can, saw something they liked, pulled it out, and said, let's use this. And that type of thing makes the NAACP today not attractive, if I can put it that way.
Call from
Tim.
Tim, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wednesday, it's cold up there, I know.
Yes, on a cold morning, right. All right, so a couple of questions. One, I agree with you. I don't think there was malice behind the questions. Obviously, this was some type of it was a history class or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I don't think that anyone was trying to justify slavery ownership, but they were just trying to, I'm sure there was a point along with it. And I also don't agree that where I have a couple of problems is a fifth grade class. I would question. That seems like a pretty heavy question for a fifth grade class. I could be wrong. I'm out of touch with.
I agree with you because that's what I'm saying. Because I understand. We were kind of talking about the NAACP, but I'm like, as far as at least to me, when it comes to the school, there does need to be some responsibility about the questions you ask and what grade level and stuff like that. So that's just my opinion. Like, I don't think it was a smart question and that they should have known, hey, this is going to cause a little, and don't be surprised when people start complaining,
And let me ask you this. Does it make a difference if the teacher was white?
No.
Yeah. I think it does, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what people are going to say. And I don't even know, to be honest with you. They didn't show the teacher or, I know people are trying to dig and find out.
Yeah.
I'm sure the parents know, they know the teachers. But
right.
I'm just like.
So then.
Yeah.
then the other side of that is, does it make a difference if the teacher's black?
You know, Tim, to be honest with you, I'll be honest with you, I don't see what the big deal is. Mm-hmm. What a white, black, Chinese, green knees or no knees. I don't see the problem here. I don't care who it is. Mm-hmm. If the question was asked, I don't think it was done in a way to where they intended to make a mockery or to
offend anybody, right?
Offend anybody that cause trouble here. I just don't think that was done for that purpose.
No, I agree.
So, you know, I think this is a big deal. The NAACP hadn't spun the Price is Right wheel in a long time, and they saw they looked in the trash can. Here's some good trash that we can pull out and talk about. Oh my, we hadn't been relevant in a number of years. So
yeah, it's been a while since we've been on TV.
Yes, yeah.
I got a new suit. I got to try this out, see how it looks.
Right. Yeah. But,
I think the teacher on administrative leave, that unfortunately in today's climate with media, how influenced, the media loves to just jump on any of that stuff. That's a knee jerk reaction. That's the school trying to, save face, and, depending on how, and obviously, I mean, you're talking about it now. I did hear about it also on the news. That's a knee jerk. They're trying to show that we care and it matters and do what we can to rectify the situation. I think that if this is as sensitive as it's made out to be, I think there's a really easy way to handle this.
Right.
And maybe a little bit of just training, and we don't do that. And again, the teacher didn't say anything racial or slanderous or wasn't trying to segregate the classroom. Okay, you guys over here are the slaves, and you guys are the planted. That, I mean, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't any. And it was simply a question on a sheet of paper in line with a bunch of others. Was it the most sensitive question you could ask a fifth grader? Probably not. But again, did anyone go home crying? Were there feelings like hurt?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the NAA tried to do, okay, well, we spread mayonnaise on this half of the bread. Well, let's spread it on the other half too. What I mean is this. They tried to just cover the whole area rather than it was isolated to this situation at the school. Now they try to spread it all over the country to make a big deal out of it. I mean, if you really want to find something to talk about, there's a lot of things in the black community that you can talk about. The NAACP can talk about. There's a lot of things that you're not doing that you need to take care of. And there's some things that are a lot more, a lot, that can cause a lot more problems than this particular situation here. I think,
but media, that's not what matters because if you go and you talk about black problems in the black community, you know what, the news could care less.
Yeah,
the media could care less.
Well, I guess so. But here's the thing about it. Where do all the crime come from in a lot of these cities? You might as well face it. It's the black community. Black people killing black people. But it's the headline in the news. They're talking about it, but there are certain things they will talk about and certain things they won't talk about. But, the NAACP tried to do something here to keep it relevant and, and keep their jobs, a lot of them. And, they need to close some of their offices and across the country and all that. And listen, folks, I'm not against the NAACP. But these days, compared to today, back in 1976 or 79, it's irrelevant. And I'm not saying do away with the organization. I'm saying if you're going to talk about something, if you're going to do something, come on, let's not talk about nothing. you know, I mean, if you're going to do something, go publicly or, you know, privately to that place or whatever and talk about it. But don't try to spread it all over the country and make a big deal out of nothing. All stirred up. That's what they want. They want to get people stirred up again about the NAACP and
now I got it.
And I'm saying,
let me jump in for a
whoa. No, but see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I am okay. Go ahead, Josh. I'm just running my mouth.
Because I get your point. It's not saying you're wrong about anything, but I know we're gonna take that call in a minute.
If you're calling and we have someone on the phone, you can call back. You're welcome to call back after we're finished with this call. Appreciate your calls. Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, but you know, I'm like this. I can't go in completely that far. I really can't, because in this situation, the guy was not being belligerent by any means. It was NAACP person.
Okay.
I mean, he did nothing to spread it across the country at all, except the news came to him about it, and he said his statement. Mm-hmm. And they said they want to see what can be done. Now, as far as just thinking about a public apology, I always feel like that's that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, what if they do a public apology?
That's a two-way street, also.
Yeah.
No, I get it, but I'm like, okay,
and,
what if? Go ahead.
And I'm going to say that because you know we have there's a couple of big names out there, and specifically one here in the Chicago area, and that's you know, or there's on what do you have on CNN or whatever he's on MSNBC. You have Al Sharpton. Mm-hmm. He likes to jump to the headlines, but when the facts come out, you never hear him apologize.
Yeah.
And Jesse Jackson does the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, watching Chicago news my entire life growing up here.
Okay.
And he's been quiet for a long time now, but he does the same thing. Something comes out, right? Something will come out, and boom, there he is.
Right.
With a crowd of people waving their hands, and then when the facts come out a week, two later, whatever it is, when the facts come out, you never hear them going, you know what, we're gonna.
Hey Tim,
was wrong.
Hey Tim, you're welcome. You're welcome to call us back again, and
take care, guys.
Hey man, appreciate your comments.
Thanks, man.
You bet.
All right. 901-213-6020. The phone lines are open. And thanks for all you responding on Facebook. And Leon, I take it you are against or for this particular situation. He's making some comments there.
Yeah, and I think
thanks for your comments.
Yeah, good stuff. And I think he's talking about what he's seeing in Missouri.
Yeah.
And look, like I said, man, and it's just in my opinion.
Yeah.
I cannot make this completely about the NAACP.
Right.
Because I've seen more situations where it's been a little bit more obvious that they're just looking out for their own interests.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I don't think there's a problem with asking for insight on, teachers treating and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. But,
Daniel, welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday.
Gentlemen, what's happening? How y'all doing?
Good, man. You been hiding on the mulberry bush or something?
Man, the mulberry bush, the weed, the sticker bush. I don't know, man. They done have me out here. It's hard on me in the morning, man. It's all good, though. Yeah.
It's all good, bro.
Glad to see y'all guys rocking and rolling.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, bro.
Look, I just dealt with some racial issues recently with a colleague of mine. So I'm starting to understand that right now, I think, because my generation is not desensitized from having the conversation, but the generational divide in terms of sensitivity is very much needs to be appreciated and respected, but not to take away from, advancing the conversation, because there are some people that literally it's so painful to them that any form of trying to, I guess, depict it or reenact it comes across in a way that they don't want to deal with at all. I think is detrimental to not only the future generations understanding what exactly happened, but also to actually dealing with the pain that older generations still deal with. I was called a racial epithet not too long ago, recently, and it didn't affect me. And it naturally didn't affect me. However, when I told the story, people were mad that it didn't affect me. And I had to fall back and say, okay, this is something that you got to respect every point of pain in this particular type of race. When it comes to race relations, and particularly slavery, we all got to respect the people that don't even, anytime it's mentioned, it's painful to people that are that really, is indifferent to the future generations to not understand what happened back then.
Yeah.
And I think that when we don't have an honest conversation, it's fair to tell the NAACP, to your point, Mr. Biden, it's fair to have a critical viewpoint, like, what are you guys trying to accomplish? Is this just outrage for a benefit of the organization, or are you trying to really deal with the conversation? Because we still, as a country, haven't dealt with that conversation, from the economic to the effects spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. We haven't dealt with it. And I think, to you, and both of you guys, there's no malice. It's just the way you approach it, and everybody's on a CYA mission as opposed to dealing with why is this outrage, how can we move forward, as well as make sure the future generations don't lose sight of how real this part of history was. It made America. It's why we're the strongest country in the world for the 400 years of nobody getting paid for services rendered, and that's real.
Yeah, and because I think, like, to Bob's point, when it comes to this whole thing, there are a lot worse things going on. There's no question. And, if you saw, I don't know if you heard what the actual question was that school asked on that assignment was about, basically putting yourself in the slave owner's shoes in that time period, and how much would you have charged for a slave in that time period, and how much you could have made, stuff like that. And like I said, I think it's a dumb way of putting it, but
and Josh, the NAACP, aggressive action needs to be taken. Okay, like what? Like what?
I don't really know.
I want to know why. Why would you want to take aggressive action towards a teacher teaching something that actually happened?
Yeah,
true.
And that's my point.
Period.
That's my point.
Yeah,
it actually happened. So we always want to talk about history, but we don't want to talk about it. This guy the NAACP is getting upset because of the way they. It's not good enough. We don't have anything to talk about. We're not relevant right now. We need to jump on this. This will make us look good.
Well, hold on. That's where you have to be fair, Mr. Bob, because the point of them feeling that outrage has to be respected. It might be ill-pointed and ill-intent, they just may not necessarily be articulating the way they need. Well, I ain't even say need to, where that will benefit a resolution that they can live with. But the fact that they have that outrage, whatever sparked it, is real. And when we dismissive of that from a younger generation, being dismissive of, like, I don't care about the N-word, or I don't care about all that, to the older generation, like, y'all young people don't understand what happened, y'all need to respect your history. That we got to be sensitive to that, because if we lose, I'm gonna say we're not gonna get better, but you're gonna constantly keep having these issues, and we got, as a people, we got we can't be worried about the conversation about slavery. We got to deal with getting that money back from not being paid all them years and putting it in our communities. Man. We got to take the conversation to the next level.
And I'm gonna tell you something. That's what I'm saying. And it's like people kind of you're playing in the weeds instead of up in the trees type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. And we've been doing that historically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. We need to stop spinning our wheels and go forward, and at least let it be more relevant. I'm not saying that this is nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to pay attention to whatever goes on as far as race relations and all the other stuff that goes on, especially in our schools and all of this. But when you jump back to an organization like the NAACP and they jump into something and try to make it a big deal
a fight
out of just two kids playing. Then I think, they're trying to cause problems here. And I'm not for that. Now, if you have something that is really, really sensitive, you went and talked to the people, you've gotten letters from them and all this kind of stuff, and they're still fighting against what you're saying, and you find out really what the real problem was here, especially with the teacher in this particular situation, then we deal with it accordingly. But to jump in with both feet on a situation like this, what is your Excuse me. Yeah. What is your purpose? What are you trying to do?
I got you. Mm-hmm. I think you should challenge them on that. I think you should. I'm sure there are people out there that's listening, or you can reach out. They need to be held accountable, and not in an antagonistic way. Just like, look, what are you trying to accomplish with this? And you need to be able to articulate the why. When that happens, you're gonna see some, you're gonna see some truth, or you're gonna hear some and then it's gonna look like crazy, and then we're gonna be back to ground zero, not advancing the advancement of colored people, not getting back to their core mission. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I hope y'all can get somebody out here that is vehemently against the viewpoints that are being shared. I would, because I want to be respectful of that. But I'm like, come on, y'all. Yeah. Like, this is not that. You need to be telling the story of slavery. It needs the watered down version is why people think they can kind of gloss over it. No, you need to be looking at Uncle Tom's Cabin, and you need to be looking at the real. Like, it went down, and it made this country wealthy at the expense of people that look like us, and we still suffering from today. Right. And if you can have wealth transcend generations, you can have poverty transcend generations, you can have the illnesses transcend generations, because we got soul food, but why did that come about? Then look at the whole history of our people and what we did with health-wise and all the lead and all, man, come on, man. Yeah. It's deep, and they need to have an honest discussion. And if you're going to have a discussion, be responsible with it, especially if you're going to be mad about it. Yep. And I hope that they can answer that. I really do.
There you go. Great points, bro.
Daniel, man, it's been a pleasure. Hey, man, we appreciate you calling in and checking with us.
Likewise, brother. Hope I can do some more, man. Y'all hold it down.
Thanks, yes, man. Sir. You too. All right. 901-213-6020. Some good points there.
Yeah, honestly. Flashback from Daniel there. Have him join the conversation. Even Greg was like, Daniel, on the Facebook comments. Good morning to you, Greg, coming in. Verdell, I see you. Frankie in the building as well.
Yeah, Frankie, good morning. And Rachel. Yes.
Yeah, Rachel. Michelle Land, who shared the video a couple times. Dolores, what's going on?
All of you checking in with us. Yes. What do you think about this particular situation, though? Is it, did the NAACP really need to get involved in this? And do you think they tried to make a big deal out of this? Is it that the NAACP is not relevant anymore, and they're trying to get some Christmas gifts here? I mean, folks, I'm not trying to be belligerent. I'm not trying to be, difficult here, but, come on. If you're going to talk about something and get involved in something, get involved in it, but yet don't try to make a big national scene out of it, so that you can, be relevant or whatever the case may be.
Well, here it is. I mean, and I don't disagree with you. I think it's more, what are you making a scene about?
Right.
If it's worth making a scene about, then do it. But if it's not, then, like I said, I don't mind them saying, okay, you guys need to watch with this type of thing or questions or whatever, right? But to say there needs to be extreme action or whatever it was done, I really don't know what else. Yeah. The school apologized. The teacher showed remorse.
Well, the NAACP, that apology is not good enough.
They said they need a public one.
They need a public one, so.
And what is a public apology?
Yeah.
Call from.
To
accept, press 1.
Welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday. Who do we have?
Saboy Ali from out of Dallas, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Dallas, Texas.
Thanks for calling. Hey, man, what's your opinion on this whole thing? What do you think?
Peace and blessings, brothers, sisters all over the world.
Yes, sir.
We got to look at the whole situation. When the last time we heard anything about NAACP?
Man, it's been
when the last time we heard anything about these people riling up the crowd, and then they rob the crowd, and then our people get hurt, and then they tuck their tail and they go live among with their family because there's protection. We got to go all the way back, in history. We've been dealing with this stuff since 1616, if I'm not mistaken. And it goes back from 1616, from the slavery time, from mass incarceration as of today, the red line. We've been dealing with these things, and we don't See, we only teach our kids only so much. We got to teach our kids everything that's dealing with our history. Don't just give them a book and just go to page 20, but don't give them from 1 to 20. See, that's what's going on today. And with our eldest brothers and sisters around the world and seeing what's going on with these kids and not touching these kids or not chastising these kids when it's time to chastise them. And then we just see them with big pistols walking around the hood and doing this pants sagging. Then you talk about Jim Bean's son down the street when you was coming up in your area, Jim Bean, auntie, nieces and nephews, you know what I'm saying, chastised you and let you know what you were doing what was wrong. Today is that we are not teaching our kids the bulletproof. We teaching them the water whoop. And as long as you continue to teach them the water whoop, as what they say, old schools, OGs, not today, we ain't listening to them.
Okay,
you know they not.
Okay, so what's your point on the topic?
Well, and really,
I understand, but
because he was talking about the NAACP,
right,
and how they come in the
my
communities.
My whole topic is about, bro. It's pop-up time, it's Christmas time, and they're trying to get some gifts for them kids.
Yeah,
you know what's going on, brother.
Oh, I know what's going on. I wanted to hear you say it though.
I'm from Gulfport, Mississippi, though. You know, Mississippi, though. So I originally stay in Dallas, Texas, right now. But we know what's going on, brother.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't heard from them in so many years.
Yeah.
So if you ain't heard from something in so many years and it pop up around the peak season, what you trying to pick-a-boo the crowd? You trying to get you something out the crowd?
Well, see, the thing about it is, okay, you come up, you had to find something this time of the year to talk about. Okay, boom, let's jump on this. But there probably were other things more important than this particular thing. We're not saying this is important, but I think the way they handled this, to come out the way they did, was to try to be relevant. Want to be heard. For what reason? Do you need the money? Do you need to be relevant? Do you need to be heard? Or is the organization going down in the mud? What's your point here? With the purpose
they need
with all
the
of this?
sponsors. They need the advertising. They need people to talk about them so they can boost their views up.
Yeah.
See, making them famous right now, brother.
Yeah.
Just by talking about them.
Just by talking about it.
Sure.
And the thing about it is, this whole thing is irrelevant. It's nothing. And the way they're doing this, I wouldn't want to join it anyway if they're talking about it the way they are and coming up with stuff that's irrelevant and feel like, okay, we don't have anything to talk about.
Well, look here's the thing. Like, to the school thing, I feel like I said, it's not a big enough deal right now to really just make a big thing about it. So that's just me. But that's some good points you bring up, man. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Out of Dallas, Gulfport, and all that.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, man. He's still there. Okay. All right. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely, brother. But we gotta understand. We know, just like we know the true colors of them. They was bootlickers, and they gonna continue on to be bootlickers.
Yeah.
I yield.
Hey, man, thanks for the call.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I think he was listening to us delayed.
Yeah. Hey, but he called them bootlickers. Now, I don't know if I don't know if I can go that far, man. That's pretty harsh, but I hear bootlicking. But I don't know. But what do y'all think? In the comments, I know I got a lot of people listening, But,
and several people tried to call and get through, so now the line is open at 901-213-6020. You have a comment, a question, or can you clear up something on this particular thing the NAACP tried to do here? Josh, and we can maybe play that clip again.
Yeah, I do want to play it again.
Clip again and see what's so people can understand what's going on here with this particular thing we're talking about in NAACP. Hang on here. Got a phone call.
I was speaking pretty fast there. But go ahead.
Greg, welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday. Bugman.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's chilly willy out here, but I love it.
Yes,
you know?
it is.
I
yes.
love it.
Okay, all right. Good for you. I like cold weather too. I like snow. You know, what else?
I don't know, but
a lot of other things I like. But anyway, Greg, we can go ahead and get into this topic. What's going on, Greg?
What's up, man?
All right, man. Let me jump right in. Okay, so here's the rub that I have with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the NAACP needs to just, leave this nothing burger alone.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
Nothing burger.
Secondly, okay, so the other thing about the NAACP is that they need to focus on things that are happening today, right?
Yeah.
That are relevant in our community, not when they feel like we should be slighted about something. Anytime somebody white says anything, right?
Mm.
You look at and see if you're gonna use slavery and oppression as a focal point of whenever they want to get out, march, and raise their voices, but then you don't want white people to talk about slavery whatsoever.
Mm.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime a white person brings up anything about slavery in a public forum, they get upset.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Well,
first of all, they want to say.
Greg is teaching people. Is teaching people the wrong way to respond to things. Is to get upset and get relevant, ready to fight about any and everything that is talked about, rather than trying to come together, come and reason and exactly what's going on. It's teaching our people the wrong spirit, the wrong attitude. That when white people or say something, you're supposed to get upset, you're supposed to fight, and all this kind of try to find things. That are really not there, and especially in this particular kid situation, try to find something that's really not there, and overdo the whole situation. And then, our the NAACP, are we trying to keep a fight going?
And we can ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, but see, are we trying to keep a fight going? Or are we actually trying to, keep the peace or cause peace? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So here's the thing too.
Yes.
I've talked to so many young brothers, and they, younger than 30, right?
Mm.
I've been amazed, especially the past 5 years. I've been amazed at the attitude a lot of them have towards our slave ancestors, right?
Mm.
The overall attitude I hear is that they were weak. For allowing themselves to be and to stay in bondage the way that they did. Mm-hmm. And I tried to explain to them, do y'all not understand that you're speaking from right now, present, where you have rights and laws and things like that, where it can happen? Mm-hmm. Back then, slavery was the law. You had no way to fight it back then, other than to die.
Mm-hmm.
Other than to die. Now, like I explained to one young brother, man, I'd be. And I said, what if they told you that if you didn't kill your whole family?
Mm.
That's what they were faced with. It wasn't just the slave man. They were threatening his family to make him work.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. So to that point, right? And it kind of, I actually didn't know there were that many people that believed that way about slavery.
I didn't either until I got to talking to a bunch of young brothers.
Uh-huh.
And it almost sounds like what Kanye, and I know he's even said he's kind of changed the way he was feeling at that time. But I know when he came out and said almost 2 years ago about slavery being a choice, right? So I guess it's a prevailing theory, and I think a lot of that comes from miseducation or uneducation about what actually
uneducation is I'm going to say uneducation or a willful non-acknowledgement.
Yeah.
A willful non-acknowledgement. Now, if the NAACP wants my interest, they're going to have to address some of the things that are happening in the black community as it relates to us.
I agree.
Not them and us, just us.
Us. Yeah. It's not happening, Greg. It's not happening.
It's not happening. I always get just bitterness building up in me whenever I see a young brother that's killed another young brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no marching. There's no outrage.
Right.
Why can't we keep that same outrage, and as the word of the day, they like to use that same energy when a white person kills a black person? Why can't you keep that same energy in march, show outrage when a brother kills another brother?
Well, evidently they don't feel it's important enough. That to me it kind of shows that the NAACP is a racist organization. I mean, you're behaving like a racist organization when you only march when a white person does something to a black person, but you don't do it when a black people are killing each other every single day. Well, Josh, what was that? What was that number or a report that came out yesterday or day before about many people been killed in the wars?
Well, and that wasn't just the black community though, but that was a total number just in the country. For the past 50 years, more people killed in gun violence than like in all the wars that we've ever had.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, most of the gun violence against black America. It's black people against black people. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you're having a great number of black people being killed off by themselves in all of the wars.
It's alarming that nobody stands up for us when it's us. Yeah. Ain't nobody says anything. And if you keep that attitude, you keep that silence is compliance.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
So if you're going to keep doing it, it's going to by default make it open season on us. Mm-hmm. Because if we don't care about us, why should somebody else care about us?
Why should we expect somebody else to care about us?
Right, and that's the infuriating part of it. That's the disappointing part of it. Mm-hmm. Yes, we totally understand that our folks suffered at the right now. Mm-hmm. We understand that. Mm-hmm. We dig that. Right. Fine. Yeah, no, we should not stand up for it. But even more so, we should never stand up for the plight of our as it relates to us happening to us. We shouldn't stand for it.
Right.
And this whole idea that that our neighborhoods can and should be self-sustained, that's a pipe dream. Mm-hmm. White people didn't build this country by themselves. They didn't do it. Mm-hmm. This country was not even designed to run segregated. They tried, it didn't work. Mm-hmm. It didn't work. And in a country like this,
right.
Now, to say now it's a good thing to have. Yes, black should always support black, but it has to make sense too, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Has to make sense. Has to make sense. So I'm always going to support my black people, but at the same time, I'm not going to be a fool for my black people.
Absolutely.
There are places now that I tried to patronize. I'm just a day short of getting a picket sign in front of their building because they did me and because of people I know so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was very disappointing. But look, let me get off my soapbox, gentlemen. I got to make this phone call. My boss been calling me, so I got to call him back, and I like killing bugs, so I want to keep my job.
Yeah, there you go, Greg. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Greg, you do a good job at it too, man.
Thanks, bro.
We appreciate you, Greg. Thanks for the comments.
All right, so man, appreciate y'all giving me some time to talk.
All right, 901-213-6020. Gloria, thanks for checking in with us today. And Josh, you're going to play this story again?
Yes.
About the NAACP and this whole deal here about the school thing and why are they relevant or even talking about this issue publicly? What do they want? I mean, out of this whole deal. What do you want? And I'm not mad at the NAACP. I want to know, just like anybody else wants to know, out of this whole situation, this whole deal, what do you want?
The goal. What's the goal?
What's the goal? What do you want? What do you want them to do? Do you want people to bow down at you and worship you or your organization, or or whatever, or what is this really the NAACP about protecting the black people, or is it really you trying to be relevant in this season?
Well, we were going to go, but let's go back to the phone.
Call from
James.
James, welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Hey, I didn't hear the story. I heard. I disagree with what he was saying, but I mean, you guys got a story about the NAACP?
Well, yeah, and it was
school organization. Yeah,
it was involving the school.
And I tell you what, if you want to hang on, you can listen to it.
Yeah. Let me hear the story first.
Yeah, hang on just a second. We're going to play the story, and folks, take a listen to this. And after this call, your phone calls are welcome, and your comments on Facebook about what do you think about this whole deal? Was it relevant for the NAACP to do something, or was it just them trying to get or to become relevant again?
Gotcha.
Let's take a listen to this.
Tonight, the NAACP is giving a failing grade to the Melville School District and demanding an apology. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Thanks for joining us. A fifth grade teacher gave students an assignment with a question about the slave trade that is now being called culturally insensitive. 5 on Your Side's Chris Davis is live at Blades Elementary to explain what school leaders are doing about it. Chris?
Well, Mike, a district spokesperson confirms to me that teacher has now been placed on administrative leave. In the meantime, the principal sent this letter and email home with students for the parents explaining what happened. Still, a local NAACP chapter says that's not good enough.
That is not enough.
There's disappointment, and then there's anger.
It should be a public apology.
For St. Louis County NAACP President John Bowman, it's more of the latter than the former.
I find that wrong on so many levels.
The Melville School District gave a copy of the assignment to 5 on Your Side. The homework focused on westward expansion, asking students to assign prices for things like bushels of grain and bags of apples. But the last question on the assignment says this: you own a plantation or farm and therefore need more workers. You begin to get involved in the slave trade industry and have slaves to work on your farm. Your product is to trade slaves. Students then had to assign the price, and then the assignment says this could be worth a lot.
It's appalling. It's unacceptable.
This letter was sent home with students from Blades principal, Dr. Jeremy Booker. In it, Dr. Booker acknowledges it was culturally insensitive and that the teacher expressed remorse. Dr. Booker promises an investigation and that he would work with the district leadership to provide all teachers and staff professional development on cultural bias in the near future. John Bowman is disappointed such training wasn't already part of Melville's training for teachers.
So why would you not have cultural bias training included in a district where you have a diverse population?
Parents on social media have also been more angry than disappointed. The hope? There's a lesson to be learned behind this controversial lesson plan.
There needs to be an aggressive action taken to make sure this never happens again.
Now, in addition to that apology, Mr. Bowman is requesting a meeting with the superintendent of the district as well as the principal. In the meantime, we asked the Melville School District if we could talk to an administrator or a supervisor here at the school and at the district. So far, we haven't heard back, Mike.
All right, there you have it, 901-213-6020. After we talked with our caller, James is on the line. This is,
what do you think, James?
What do you think, James? I mean, what are they trying to prove here? What do you think?
The NAACP, I can understand people have problems with that organization. They have an agenda. A lot of times they're not really concerned about, it's sort of like what you guys were talking about, Vic, Michael Vick in the Pro Bowl, these groups who protest him when they really have an agenda that's other than, they just use him because he's a celebrity and then they can get attention.
Right.
Yeah, NAACP is talking about failing grade. And I I don't have a problem with that, with them teachers or whatever, But black people, what Greg fails, what he leaves out is what black people have been through. Black people have been, just abused in this society. As whether it was slaves, even as they became free, they were abused with Jim Crow, and even now they're abused. Well, what about black on black crime? As if I can stop a black man from doing something, down the street. I don't even know the man, or if I can stop a black man, I know I can know him, and he'll still do it. Then they want to put the guilt. What about black on black? So they want to ignore the racism. So I can understand where you guys come from. I know you about me. Like, it ain't about just walking around talking about racism, excuse. I got you on that. Mm-hmm. You still got to be responsible for what you're doing, and it does matter what you do. Mm-hmm. But these organizations, if anybody got any sense, especially in 2019, about turn 2020, Black Lives Matter, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. These people do not represent you. Yeah. You've got to get out here and make it on your own. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be fair. It's not going to be fair. Mm-hmm. If you want to hope that a person is not committing. You're out here stealing cars. You're out here committing crimes. You get locked up. You get jammed up by the police. You get murdered. You get killed by the police, and they break procedure or something. You still were doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, were they wrong to break procedure? Yes, but you were doing wrong. Now, if you out here just, and you know it, and you guys know it. I'm saying both of you guys. Mm-hmm. You out here, you just going to college. You out here making your way. Mm-hmm. You just living your life. You're not bothering anybody. You ain't in the streets. You ain't smoking no weed. You ain't trying to buy no weed. You ain't trying to bother nobody. It's a real. Your odds are low. Mm-hmm. That anybody's gonna bother you. I'm talking anybody. Mm-hmm. We know that. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? So you can't go by NAACP, Barack Obama. No, Barack Obama don't speak for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll shoot his mouth off. He'll shoot his mouth off like what we need. No, you need to do that. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, and as far as even on Trump, mm-hmm. I would vote for Trump before I would vote for any of these politicians talking about this gay stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not with that. So we still free people, man. That's what I'm saying. So I ain't caught up on no. But in the NAACP do, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. What Cory Booker and Kamala Harris do, I don't care. That don't motivate me. Mm-hmm. And the odds are real low. Like I'm not gonna tell you how old I am, but I don't get, I don't have to deal with the legal system like that. And I look at the news just like you do. I see them people, and I feel sorry for them people because I wonder if they realize what's going to happen to them when they get caught up in these things and having a blubbermouth, Benjamin Crump, a babbling moron come and bump his gums about something I'm into about black folk and black. That don't mean nothing to me. So I think we've helped get out of that. There's a lot of people that's way beyond that. So the NAACP, man, they're pretty much an irrelevant organization just trying to survive. And it's just like with Michael Vick, those groups, they're just using him for attention and donations. So I just ignore that.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, James, we appreciate it. And I'm in agreement with you. They're irrelevant. They're trying to find something to stay alive.
And you know what? I must ask this quick question, guys, even to James, if you got a minute. I'm just sitting there thinking, we always look for different things as far as like representation or whatever it is as a black community. Is that as important as we make it? Because it's like, okay, who's going to represent all of us? Is NAACP. Nobody. That's what I'm saying. Is NAACP going to represent all of us? Then it was Black Lives Matter. So they disappeared, for after that couple of years. Yeah. Represent all of us. You know what I mean? When all they really do is release mamas from prison. That's all they ever do in Memphis.
Yeah, but listen at Black Lives Matter.
But like I said, and I know that's the thing, but I'm not as against the words as the action.
Yeah.
The statement's fine, but act like it, but they didn't act like it.
But Black Lives Matter does Black Lives really matter to the to the organization? No, it doesn't. If Black Lives really matter, you would argue about the
stuff that's going on.
Stuff that's going on with the black community, and it goes on every single day.
I agree.
They're killing each other.
I didn't want to get away from the point, though. I was saying.
Right, yeah.
But
we'll never be like black people. One person represents all black people. That's impossible because one person doesn't represent all white people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
that's impossible.
So why?
Did you talk about did you talk about the homosexual? You got gay men who are black.
Mm-hmm.
Who, they're not going to agree if one guy out there saying he's the representative of black people, the homosexual community is not going to agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So now you're telling black people, well, just like they say with the Democrat, like, well, you're a liberal, man, you're a Democrat, you got to support the homosexual agenda. You know that they're not going to agree with that. You know that. They're gonna say, I don't agree with that. Yeah, so that'll never happen. So in the NAACP, with donations and stuff like that, they're more just like the Black Lives Matter. They're more leaning. They're really a lot of these organizations are not what you think they are. They got that name, but they're really a lot of them are homosexual promotion or agenda organizations because of that dime, that bag, that money.
That money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why you run into with the Christian community saying, "Wait a minute. I mean, I'm down for fairness and treatment, but I also have a spiritual belief. It's in the Bible that this type of practice, this is immoral. No, they're liberals, so we about you. They're liberals, so we're liberal. No, you know what I'm saying? So you're never gonna have that one individual represent everybody.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I got you, bro. I appreciate you, though, bro.
James, thanks for the call.
All right.
All right, Josh.
Got a question on Facebook, too. So, and I'm just seeing it, by the way, so my bad on that, Jed. He's in one of the watch parties, too.
Okay.
So Raymond out of Knoxville's out there, too, so I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Scrolling down. And Jed says, Jed says, I'm not here to support the NAACP, but I have a question for everyone talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he put this when Greg was on.
Okay.
He said, what's the end result you want to achieve by blacks marching when one black person kills another black person? So what exactly?
Read that question again.
He says, I'm not here to support the NAACP, but I have a question. What's the end result you want to achieve by blacks marching when one black person kills another black person?
And I think that's the question everybody is trying to, the answer everybody's trying to find out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to be accomplished by marching and all that other kind of stuff?
Well, now here's the thing. I think not just that, though, but specifically when blacks kill other blacks.
Right.
Now, you remember we were talking to Greg.
Yeah, right. I understand what he's saying. Okay, if that's the case, then black people killing black people and all this, and you want us to march for that too.
What is the purpose?
Okay,
of the march?
but I think the thing is, we need to sweep around our own front door.
Yeah.
Sweep around your own front door before you try sweeping around mine. And I think a lot of times the NAACP is trying to sweep around a lot of things. They haven't swept around their own community. I think we need to clean up our own community first and know exactly what's going on and don't be in denial.
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny what exists, even though it may be, you want us to just talk about each other and straighten up each other and not to focus on the problem that's outside too and on the inside of us as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot deny what exists. We have more problems within than we do without. And unless that problem is addressed, unless we deal with it and realize the situation that, hey, we're our own enemy, our worst enemy, then we're deceived. We're deceived, and we need to get that straight. And and so we don't be in denial, and that's the thing that you don't want to keep letting be stuck out there is to deny what exists. Greg says what, Josh?
Greg says, as for me, I don't want to see marching. I was just correlating the energy. And I get what he's saying. Like, look, think about it. When a black person is killed by a police officer, and I think it's justified, right? When the energy that comes from that, especially if it's wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the outrage. I mean, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll definitely talk about it here. Hence, you remember what happened with Tatiana Jefferson? I mean, we talked that off the frame. What happened to the man that was shot in his house? You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff.
Right.
Many other situations that we will, raise what we need to raise about it.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. That energy still, I think, should be preserved for us as well.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If the thought process, and it kind of gets on my nerves, when we've talked to a lot of people, even from community activists, to some pastors, to some people that say they're for the black cause. But at the same time, with all this going on in the black community, and I know there's other issues that cause what we see, especially with the black on black crime, other stigmas to that problem. But we act like we don't care. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Whenever it's brought up, what about us and us killing us? They say, well, I ain't worried about that right now. I'm worried about all these police officers killing us. First of all, it is not even close.
Not even close.
It's never been close, the number of officers that kill us compared to the number of us that kills us.
Well, the people will look at it like this, though. So you're for officers killing us?
See, and that's where they flip it.
And that's where they flip it, yeah. It's not that we care.
Why's it got to be that?
That we're not concerned about officers killing black people. It's that you need to look at the bigger picture here. Black officers killing black people. Yes, we're concerned about that. That should never happen if it's not for an officer protecting himself.
Yes.
Why are we officers shooting black people? What's happening a lot of times? We deny this too. Black people, a young man or something is stopped by the police. They don't know what to do. They feel they have to defend themselves, and it started off. I think it gave police officers the excuse to go ahead and do what they do when black people were stopped by the police, young men, and they started running. They wanted to fight. They wanted to, and all that kind of stuff. So then the police say, "Hey, we're feared for our life. He moved. He did this. He ran," and they can think of all kinds of things. Even though it may not be true.
It's bogus most of the time.
Yeah, but they came up with that excuse so that they can have an excuse to shoot the black man down.
And that's the thing. But now I'm gonna read this next statement.
Yeah.
And Jed said, because I do have an answer to it, and I get the question.
Right.
He said, "What if the community requires you to confront this community dumping trash into yours?" Now, I get that, but let's look at it this way, too. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, but here's what I'm saying. Why not pour into us self-worth? As we talk about that, people talk about self-love, self-worth, and all that stuff. Why not do that? Because if we spend all this energy and attention unnecessarily towards other people, and what they're doing to us, instead of building our own selves up to where we can more reasonably combat those things. Pour in, with education about who we are and what we need to do in certain situations, and why, despite your circumstances and situations, you don't need to kill your brother, you know what I mean, or your next door neighbor, or break into their house, or do this and do that. All at least is from self-worth. And I understand some of that comes from the outside in. And there are people that want to keep us in that box. But, it's up to us to break out of it.
Yeah.
And there's been people that have broken out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, And I'm not saying never confront other things that happen outside of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but, don't act like it doesn't matter either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so does it really matter? Yeah. 901-213-6020. Stop making excuses. So anyway, Josh, we need to take a break right here. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation on this. And folks, what do you think? We want to hear from you. 9020, or as you're doing, leaving comments on Facebook live, and we'll be. You're listening to Talk Back Live with Bob
and Josh. As I get this up here,
that is that time right? Is that 9:17?
Yes.
Wow, 17 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock Central Time, and a very pleasant good morning to you on a Wednesday morning, and jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Yeah.
Yes. And, but hey, folks, we need to be serious. We need to confront the situations that are going on. Let's be for real. We'll talk about that continuing as we come back from the break. And another hot topic coming up as well. Be back after this.
Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances has the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.
Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing.
C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778, 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
You're listening to Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. Talking about current events and topics that matter. Call in now, 901-213-6020. 901-213-6020. Now, here's Bob and Josh.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're
You're listening to Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. Talking about current events and topics that matter.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances has the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.
Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more.
30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. C Graphic Printing. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778, 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.